Hi friends! Welcome back to my channel. This is Synesthesia Tarot, and today's pick a card reading is going to be looking at what you need to know about this connection. Now, I've already filmed this once and I waited a million years for it to upload. And then when it uploaded, the entire screen was green and distorted and you couldn't see a thing. So I'm gonna take that as a sign, as I needed to refilm it anyway. So here's the second round of this. Hopefully it works this time. Also, I think I got the brightness issue figured out. It turns out my camera was filming in HDR, which is supposed to be like, I guess, a better, like the colors are more, they're better or something. I don't know. I'm not a techie person, but you know, if you don't have the capabilities to see HDR, then the screen looks blown up and white and weird. So that shouldn't be an issue anymore. We should be filming in SDR. If not, I will cause pure anarchy and I will lose my mind. But hopefully that won't be the case and everything will go smoothly this time. So we have 4 piles to choose from today. Pile 1 with the Rider-Waite Tarot and the pink aragonite cloud. Pile 2 with the Synesthesia Tarot and the angelite heart. Pile 3 with the selenite palm stone and the Santa Muerte Tarot, and pile 4 with the 8th house tarot and the opalite butterfly. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to, and then go ahead and scroll down to the description to find your timestamp and we'll get into your reading. Hi there, pile 1. If you guys chose the Rider-Waite Tarot and the pink aragonite cloud, this is going to be your reading, and this is what you need to know about this connection. So to start off, we actually are doing something a little new. I'm excited. One problem that I find we keep repeatedly running into is a lot of you feel like I'm channeling your energy rather than the person that you're thinking of. I figure there's a reason for this, but I want to try and avoid that. So instead, we're going to have both people involved in this connection. So this pile is person A and this pile is person B, and you decide which one is you, which one is them. You might find that one sounds like you and the other one doesn't sound like the person you're thinking of, but rather somebody that you know or somebody else. And I would just take that as a sign that spirit wants you to know something about this situation. But we are going to do channel messages, advice, and letters and songs, so stick around because we've got a lot to do. But let's go ahead and look at these cards. So this chakra card represents the energy within the connection, person A's energy towards the connection, and this card represents person A. So to start, we have the cosmic egg to represent person A, and person A's energy is joy, the solar plexus chakra. And then moving over to person B is represented by the eagle, and person B's energy in the connection is represented by renewal. So this is actually really interesting because I remember in a past reading, we actually had both of these chakra cards come out. So I'm curious to know, I honestly can't remember which one or what pile, but if you got that reading, definitely let me know because I was kind of surprised to see both of these come out. But I just have to say right off the bat, I absolutely love this energy. The situation could be different. I feel like for a lot of you, you might be having a second chance with this person or starting something fresh with this person. This could be a connection where you got through a kind of rough patch together and are hitting a stride. This could be you know, meeting somebody new and you both being in a really great place. Or, I mean, you could be not talking to this person, but you both are in really good headspaces. No matter what the case is, this energy is actually quite beautiful. I'm going to start with person A, and person A is actually represented by the crown chakra, which is a spirit card. So this person is hitting an extreme spiritual high. This is a state of complete oneness and content with the universe, peace, happiness. This joy card can represent, well, obviously joy, but also just truly understanding how everything is interconnected. We truly are all one with the universe, and how through the highs and lows, everything that we encounter and experience happens for a reason. I feel like this person is really, really happy about where they are in life and where they are within this connection. Even if the connection isn't where they would like it to be, they are finding peace and contentment within and accepting whatever is going on right now. You know, nothing is dulling person A's shine. Like, they are just like, this is vibing. This is just straight vibing to me. And I love all the sunflower imagery, especially because right now, at least in the northern hemisphere, it's winter. So things are kind of dead and gross, but you know, if person A is in the northern hemisphere, like, they're not letting that get them down. You know, they're dancing with life, smiling more, complimenting people. I feel like for a lot of you, I feel like you're probably with this person in some type of relationship with them. Or maybe you've recently reconciled after something difficult. I feel like person A is really, really happy about where they are in life and just everything going on. So if you're person A, I'm really, really happy for you. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm just so happy for you. I love this. And yeah, so person B. Person B is represented by the eagle, which is the last air placement in the animal spirit deck. This is an intense card. This is somebody who is rising to the challenges. Person B could have air placements in their chart or just be very intelligent, but this is somebody who is not only physically strong, but spiritually strong as well. Within this connection, this person is feeling very grounded. They're feeling rejuvenated. It's likely they've worked through some karma that was really holding them back. I feel like this person is just finally seeing their power, kind of understanding inner truths and understanding cycles. I mean, both of these people I feel are in spiritual highs right now. They're in a really good place. So if you're not feeling that way, this probably isn't your pile. I hope you're feeling this way though, whether you're person A or person B, because no matter what, these are awesome cards and just really wonderful. I almost wonder if person B has worked through a lot of family issues as of recent. They're feeling grounded. They're feeling prepared for whatever comes their way. Like, they're not going to let anything stop them. You know, they're going to grab life by the talons and, you know, eagle it up. You know, maybe this person B just went through some kind of physical transformation. Like, maybe they started a health or fitness journey, or have been trying to just improve like mind, body, spirit, and be in a better, just feel better in life. I feel like, especially if this was some kind of reconciliation, this person is really, really happy about it. And I think the person B is realizing how grounded person A makes them feel and how special person A is to them. If this is a newer connection, I feel like person B is just really, person A is just refreshing for person B, and it's really helping person B understand that even when there's hardships, like, having somebody like person A in their life just makes them realize how lucky they are, and really brings them back down to earth, which is interesting because we do have, you know, this flying eagle, and then we have this woman here, you know, sitting on the ground meditating. And I also love how similar the cards are with like the bursts of light. It's just like this connection has illuminated both parties within this connection, and I think this is really beautiful. No matter what your situation is, both of these people are in a good place, and I think that both of them have a good idea of where they're at and an acceptance of where they're at, and they're kind of just surrendering to the divine plan and allowing life to take course. So this is really wonderful. Whether you're person A or person B, I am really happy for you and your person, because I feel like this is definitely your person. But we're gonna go ahead and shuffle the tarot and see what Spirit wants you to know about this connection. So this information isn't coming from your person. It's coming from Spirit directly to you. So we'll have channeled messages to come directly to you from your person, but Spirit is going to be the one relaying these messages to you, the viewer. So Spirit, what do you want pile 1 to know about their connection with this person? Okay, we have the 7 of Swords. We have the 9 of Cups. We have the 2 of Wands. We have the Empress. We have the 3 of Cups. Wow. Okay, I literally feel like this is telling a story. Something happened. I feel like for a lot of you, this is a connection that has gotten a second chance. Or if this is a newer connection, this is somebody who can really relate to what the other has gone through. There was a sense of betrayal here with the 7 of Swords, whether one of the people in this connection sabotaged it or did something to sneak away. Maybe one person ghosted and everyone was like, the other person was like, what? Like, what's going on here? Why is this happening? Or both of these parties were in separate connections where they were betrayed or cheated or something like that. No matter what, this 7 of Swords energy was essential because it taught both parties that they needed to find their own happiness. And I think if the person within this connection, who was the one to do the 7 of Swords, like action, the deceitful or dishonest or sneaky action, I don't think it was intentionally malicious. It was maybe more of fear and uncertainty and a lack of being grounded, or just fear. And that person realized that they needed to go off on their own and find their happiness. What's really beautiful about this is that it's almost like this was just absolutely essential. Because it whatever happened, no matter what your situation was, it forced the both of you to recognize that there was a void and that nobody could fill it but you or them. You / them, both of you. Because this is actually a lot of mirroring here. The semantics of what happened might be different, but both of you realized that nobody could fulfill them the way they could. They had to find their own happiness. They had to figure out a way to find contentment and success within themselves. And I almost feel like maybe there wasn't exuberant success. This is more about emotional fulfillment to me, finding peace. And I love this because this is total, not both of these are Nine of Cups energy, because it's all about this inner fulfillment, this peace, this just satisfaction with accepting where you are, surrendering to the divine plan, recognizing how the universe truly loves you and your person. The universe loves everybody. Except Keith Raniere. F him. If you ever seen anything about Nixium, man, that guy's awful. That's irrelevant. Anyway, I feel like for a lot of you, this was a situation where you both went your separate ways. And you both went off and either found your own happiness or just went out to discover what happiness might mean for you, what peace might mean for you. And if this is a newer connection, then you both were doing this at the same time, just unbeknownst to the other person. You realized, oh, there's more out there. I want to explore the world. I want to travel, discover things. You know, maybe this started as a long distance connection. Maybe it is a long distance connection. Or maybe you met this person while traveling, or ran into this person at like the weirdest time or place. There's definitely something that feels almost too good to be true about it, but not in like a oh, this actually seems like it's too good to be true. It's just like where both parties are just absolutely shook that their plan ended up this way. However, for those of you not with this person at this time, this is actually a really good sign that because you both are in such good alignment with one another, that things will develop the way they're meant to on their own. But I feel like for a lot of you, you gave the connection up in terms of obsessing over it, wondering what's going to happen. For those of you who met this person recently, you gave up you gave up the need to go out and find this love. You were like, I'm just gonna find myself. I'm gonna discover myself, and I'm gonna trust that whatever happens is meant for me. And it's interesting because even though this is a message meant for you, I feel like the mirroring energy is so strong here. We do have those two wands here. But I feel like this Empress is especially speaking to you, the viewer, pile one. No matter what gender you are, you really spent this time of self-discovery learning how to love yourself and learning how to trust the divine plan, learning how you didn't need to put in all the work, how if you just co-created with the universe would work its magic. And I think this is a sign that you just allowed to be in a state of flow and allowed the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows of just time and the universe to happen. And because of that, you found happiness, you found joy. And for a lot of you, if this is a second chance, this is what helped bring about a reunion. The Empress talks about allowing things to unfold naturally. And with renewal here and this Three of Cups, you know, this is happiness, this is joy, this is reunion. I feel like when you reunited with this person, it was just like, yeah, like this is, I feel like you were almost in a state of disbelief. Like, how is this happening? For some of you, I feel like you're still in this Two of Wands energy where you're still discovering this and you're just trying to be happy and live in the moment. But this is assurance from Spirit that by doing that, you're actually doing what's going to help bring about a reunion of some kind or joy. I mean, this is really beautiful energy. And actually, this connection has been a huge lesson about choosing yourself and finding your own happiness and recognizing that no person is a reflection of your self-worth. Like, only you can define your self-worth. And Spirit is saying that you deserve this happiness. You totally deserve this, and you should be feeling really proud of yourself for how far you've come. And also for those of you who have taken this time to focus more on creative projects and allow your creativity to shine, Spirit's really happy about that. This is definitely people who are quite creative, and you might have actually recently included more spiritual aspects to your creative projects and kind of allowed divine influences to impact your creative projects, and Spirit's really happy about that. They're really proud of you. So let's see what else they want you to know. So Spirit, what else do you want pile 1 to know about this beautiful, beautiful connection? Death. The Wheel of Fortune. The King of Pentacles in reverse. The Queen of Pentacles upright. And the Knight of Pentacles. And on the back of the deck, we have the Sun. Ah! Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Okay, I love this. And we have the Magician underneath that. So this is beautiful. I feel like a giddy little girl. For some of you, this connection definitely is in separation. But I can't even begin to explain how proud I am of you for just going with it, allowing the divine flow, living in your joy. I mean, look at this. This is beautiful. You are truly coming into your own. There might be children involved in this. Maybe you are having a child with this person. Maybe you want to have children with this person. And I think if you do, that's a very favorable outcome. For those of you in separation, with this King of Pentacles in reverse, Spirit wants you to know that they're really working on themselves. And they're really trying to get better. I mean, oh my goodness, this is insane. Okay, so we have Leo energy, Scorpio energy, with the Wheel of Fortune. I don't know if any signs are associated with it. We have heavy Earth though, so Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, a little bit of water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I mean, this is just beautiful. I feel like this is almost talking about how, for a lot of you, maybe you're not ready for everything right now. You're not ready for marriage, kids, the white picket fence, you know, that whole ordeal. But you guys are getting to a place where you need to be in order to have that happen. I mean, the King and Queen are counterparts. This is happiness. This is family. This is just so solid. This is stability. You know, Spirit's really saying that this person, because of you, has changed for the better with this Death card. You know, with this Scorpio energy, things really had to end and shift in order for things to get better. And I feel like if you're watching this and this is resonating, but you're not with this person, Spirit is just talking about what's to come. Because with the Wheel of Fortune, like, things are just going to keep getting better. And I love that we have the snake here on this Wheel of Fortune with the cosmic egg and these winged animals, because, you know, I think it's just things are turning for the better for both of you. And, you know, while this may not be like official, you might not be committed to this person yet, you both are getting to a point where you could see that. And with this Knight of Pentacles, I feel like you both are very patient about this. You know, maybe you're just friends with this person right now. Maybe you're just allowing nature to take its course. But with the Knight of Pentacles here, this is something that's absolutely assured. It might take a while, but Spirit is saying that as long as you remain in this energy of joy and not allowing anything to disturb your peace and just finding the happiness in everyday life, like, the wheel's going to keep turning and you're going to get exactly what you want. You're going to get exactly what you need from this. This is so beautiful. And with the Queen of Pentacles here, you know, this is somebody who's wise beyond their years. And I think Spirit is really acknowledging at this time how they're just immensely proud of you for how much trust you have in the universe at this point, and how beautiful. Oh, there's a dog barking. Oh my gosh, they're just so proud. They're just so proud. With the King of Pentacles in reverse here, you know, if you're not with this person right now, I feel like Spirit is saying that your trust and your faith in this is absolutely what's bringing it about. And you can trust that your happiness, that your joy is getting you where you want to be. You know, even if you're just starting out as friends with this person, I think you both are incredibly happy to have one another in your lives. I think you both have put the past in the past and you're just focused on being healthy and being your best selves. And I think that's really, really beautiful. And I just couldn't be happier for you, Pile One. I really couldn't. So let's go ahead and get into channeled messages and see what Spirit wants to say. As it goes with these, you know, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, because it is a general reading. We will probably have a lot of different ones. Okay, so Spirit, what does Pile One's person want to say to Pile One? I know I messed up everything coming out on the Seven of Swords. I want to tell you how I feel. Yeah, for some of you, if you're not with this person, the feelings run really deep. I am not available. So yeah, so for some of you, you could be friends right now. I'm starting to understand our connection. I want you. And on the back of the deck, I regret lying to you. So yeah, for some of you at one point, you know, which kind of makes sense with this King of Pentacles, like, you know, they're not ready to be your counterpart quite yet, but they're getting there. They're up for the challenge. I feel like they're more of this knight energy right now, but they want to be that king. So what else? What does Pile One's person want them to know, Spirit? Okay, so to start, we have, I still love you. Oh, please don't waste your energy worrying about me, which I don't think, no matter who you are, I don't think you are. I am so afraid to be vulnerable. I have never felt a love so pure, deep, and true. Yeah, this is amazing. I have so many regrets. And on the back of the deck, I've never felt such intense passion, and I bury myself in my work, which might make sense with the King of Pentacles being in reverse as well. So yeah, this is really beautiful, pile one. No matter where you're at with this person, like, everything's gonna be coming up pile one. Like, that's all I can say. Okay, so let's get some advice for you guys, pile one. So Spirit, what advice do you want to give to pile one about this connection? What do they need to know? Meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. A time to give rather than to take, new moon in Virgo. And on the back of the deck, we have nothing is yet set in stone, mutable moon, which is kind of interesting with this coming out. Pisces is also a mutable energy. So I feel like Spirit is asking you, especially if this is a connection that's not fully there yet, isn't where you want it to be, Spirit is asking you to stay in this good energy, to stay connected to the divine, to keep giving to yourself, to keep remembering your self-worth. Like this Virgo, like this is the Queen of Pentacles right here. You know, she's giving to herself, she's loving herself. And no matter who you are, Spirit wants you to continue doing that, because that is what is helping you. And if you do any type of magic, you might want to consider manifesting with this new moon. It might be very helpful for you. But with this, nothing is yet set in stone. I feel like what Spirit is trying to stress, that getting out of this energy could slow things down or change things. So I feel like Spirit is really just encouraging you to keep going, and remember that this energy that you're in right now is really, really amazing and really beautiful, and they don't want you to lose it, because this Pentacles energy goes kind of slow, and you might have to be patient with this connection to get it where you want it to be. But that does not mean that it will never happen. It just means that you need to give it time and trust that everything will happen the way it is meant to. So Spirit, what else do you want pile one to know about this connection? What do they need to know? So we have this card, and it says, life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow. You will be surprised where it leads. I feel like this is literally just confirming what you've been doing. You've been going with the flow. You've been doing that. On the back of the deck, we have this card, and it says, playfulness. Laughter is the best therapy. Have some fun together, and remember, love is the greatest healer. So yeah, you guys are in that energy of really trusting the divine, trusting what's going on here, and just allowing things to happen as they will. Like, this is just, oh man, this is so beautiful. So we're gonna get some letters and some songs now. So pile one, Spirit, what songs do you have for pile one? Get some letters and some numbers. Okay. So we have a K, we have an N, we have an H, X, Y, V, D, A, L. You know what word I'm seeing? Pile one. It would be nice if I didn't have claws that made this. So maybe you guys enjoyed some things together. I'm thinking of Louis Vuitton as well, if that resonates at all. We have 2 H's, we have double H's. That Y, I'm thinking of like Danny, Livy, Hank. Oh, we also have a C. I didn't see that C. And we have this I, which I don't know what happened to that I. We also have 2 and another 2, so 222 could be significant. We also have a 5, we have a 1, we have a 0, and we have a 4. So let's go ahead and look at your song. So these can be the artist, the song, the lyrics, whatever. So we have Maybe Another Time by Feng Suave. I feel like I'm saying that wrong, but this is a really pretty song. I really like it. We also have Slow Motion by Trey Songz, which I feel like makes sense as well with all the Pentacles energy, even though, my little amethyst angel. You know, things are just going by pretty slowly. Oh, we have another K-pop song coming out, 200% by Akdong Musician. And we have Mirror by Lil Wayne featuring Bruno Mars, and I'm really happy that came out because I'm like, I feel like these parties are mirroring one another. So pile 1, I'm going to leave your reading here. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way through. If you did, definitely leave me a comment down below and let me know how it resonates. And definitely leave me a like and subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching this all the way through if you did. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to read your cards. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this, and hopefully you'll come back and visit me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 2. If you guys chose the Angelite Heart and the Synesthesia Tarot, this is going to be your reading about what Spirit wants you to know about this connection. So one problem that we have been running into is I seem to be picking up on a lot of the viewer's energy rather than the energy of their person, which I feel like there's a reason for that, and while I might not know what that is, I wanted to see if I could eliminate that by getting cards to represent both parties within this connection. So these cards are going to represent person A, and these cards are going to represent person B, and you can decide which one is you and which one is your person. Now, when I say your person, this might not be the person that you're originally thinking of, but if this is a person that you were in a connection with, or currently in a connection with, have a connection with, whatever the case may be, Spirit is definitely has a message for you about it and something they want you to know. So let's go ahead and look at person A. So this card is just going to represent person A, kind of where they're at right now, and this card is going to represent person A's energy towards person B and the connection as a whole. So person A is represented as the Horse, and their energy is represented as mysticism, the third eye chakra. And then person B is represented by the Unicorn, and person B's energy towards person A and the connection is prayer, the solar plexus chakra. So obviously this is really interesting. Just right off the bat, we have 2 similar creatures. I feel like both people within this connection, no matter whether you're with this person, whether you're not talking to this person, whether this is separation, not talking, situationship, you both view each other as equals. And that might be hard for both of you to find. So this is somebody that's definitely very, very significant. But let's talk about person A first. So person A is actually is represented by the Horse, which is the most evolved earth energy within the deck. So person A is, I'm hearing Queen right now. Like, whatever song is like Can't Stop Me Now or something like that. I feel like that's what person A's energy is right now. They're grounded, they're motivated, they're moving forward, they know nothing can stop them. I feel like this person has recently gained a much greater understanding of divinity as a whole and how the divine surrounds us. I feel like this person's third eye chakra has been opened quite recently, especially with, you know, their energy card being mysticism. This person could be exploring spirituality or being more open to it. This is definitely somebody that works very, very hard. They could be physically strong or like enjoy lifting. I feel like both parties in this connection have pretty nice hair. But yeah, this is someone determined, someone driven, somebody who knows that they can achieve whatever they set their mind to. And I feel like at this point, person A is feeling a lot more confident in themselves, because I think the one thing that was holding them back in life in general was the fact that they still had those underlying fears of, what if I can't do it? What if I'm not doing the right thing? What if I'm on the wrong path? And what's interesting is that, you know, with this horse, we have this crescent moon on in between the horse's eyes. And I feel like this is really just representing how now this person's third eye chakra has been opened a lot. Maybe their psychic abilities are improving, and they're starting to see like, oh, maybe this wee-woo-y stuff isn't just a bunch of hullabaloo, you know? Maybe this is for real, which I highly doubt that your person says hullabaloo. It's probably just me being me. But their energy within the connection, mysticism here, this is a very beautiful energy. This person is awakening to the fact that this connection is spiritual and in some nature. And they're accepting the fact that they don't quite understand everything that's going on here. They don't necessarily know. It's like they know, but they don't, if that makes sense. I almost feel like for a lot of you, you might not be even talking to this person, or if you do, it's like very intermittently and not very in depth. I'm just called to notice how the unicorn's looking at the horse, but the horse is looking straight ahead. I feel like the horse might have a lot of responsibilities, this person A, in their life right now. But I feel like person B comes up in their mind a lot, or maybe they have dreams about person B a lot. And here's what's interesting. Moving over to person B is represented by the unicorn, which is a spirit card, and it represents the third eye chakra. So I feel like whoever person B is, whether it's you or your person B is naturally gifted when it comes to psychic abilities. And not only that, person B is very, very unique. Person A fully recognizes that there is nobody like person B. And person B looks at person A and is like, this is somebody on my level. This is somebody I feel like can actually get me, you know? It's like a unicorn and a horse, while they might not be the same thing, there's commonalities, but like a unicorn and a, I don't know, dolphin. I don't know, I think unicorns and dolphins could get along. A unicorn and like a moth, for example, like they're not gonna see eye to eye, you know? It's a moth and a unicorn, it's just not the same thing. And I feel like for this unicorn, this person B, they have a really hard time finding people on their wavelength, you know? And person A is just that. Like, they are able to really understand person B. And even if they don't fully understand, person B has an awareness that there's something more here, and that person A has more strength than they realize. I feel like person B could have actually initiated a spiritual awakening within person A. maybe without even trying. I feel like person B is probably more naturally spiritual. I mean, it's just heavily implied with all of this psychic energy. But their energy within the connection, I feel like they've been just hoping for the best, praying for the highest good of all, wanting the best for all. I almost wonder if person B, like, is just kind of checking in on person A from afar. Like, if you're person B, you know, watching pick-a-card readings, like, you know, you're just kind of wondering, like, oh, what's person A up to? You know, so if you're person A, then it's interesting to know that person B is focused on this, which you guys could absolutely be within a connection already. I could see really anything going on here. I do feel like there is a degree of like separation, not like, and I don't even mean like in terms of talking, like it could be like distance, like this could be long distance or something like that, physical distance, or, you know, just with COVID and quarantine, it's like you might not be able to see this person as much if you're watching this when this is uploaded. But I do feel like person B is really coming into their own when it comes to self-esteem and self-love. And I think person B is starting to realize how special and how unique they are, and really just allowing the universe to work its magic and just trusting and praying and setting good intentions, setting positive intentions, wanting the highest good for all. You know, this isn't, person B is not somebody who is selfish and like just wanting what's best for them. They want what's best for everyone, and they're really just allowing the divine to work its magic. So if this sounds like a connection you're in, if this one of these cards sounds like you and it sounds like a person that you know, stay tuned because we're going to get into it now. I mean, I definitely feel like this is a spiritual connection for sure. No matter what is going on here, this is very special. I mean, I feel like both of you are probably, wow, that was a huge fail. Kind of embarrassing. Like, both these people seem really cool. Now they just saw me riffle shuffle like a complete dummy. That was slightly redeeming, but to be fair, these cards are hard to shuffle. Now I'm insecure. Like, you guys are so, I'm just kidding. You guys are just so, I don't know. This is really cool. Like, I'm like, dang, like, who are these people? They're really dope. Okay, so, can't remember if I cut the deck into 3, so now I have to do that. But Spirit, what do you want pile 2 to know about this connection? So these tarot cards are going to be directly from Spirit to you, the viewer. Then we're going to do channel messages to get messages from your person, whether you are A and they're B, or you're B and they're A. And then we'll do advice from Spirit to you, and then letters, numbers, and songs. So what do you want pile 2 to know about this connection? Okay, we have the 5 of Cups. We have the 9 of Cups. That's really interesting because this is a second. We have the Wheel of Fortune. If you were drawn to pile 1 as well, you might want to watch it, truth be told. We have the Ace of Swords. And we have the Page of Swords. Okay, so right off the bat, starting with this 5 of Cups over here. This is Spirit acknowledging that whoever you are within this connection, you're seeing a lot more clearly about it. And Spirit is really proud of you and your ability to start looking at things from a more detached perspective in terms of looking at the bigger picture, seeing from your third eye, because both parties here are connecting psychically, connecting to those psychic abilities, and trusting that the Wheel of Fortune is turning. With this 9 of Cups here, Spirit is saying that all of your wishes can come true, and I feel like for both parties, one another are a wish fulfillment. Both are very emotionally fulfilling, but I think both parties within this connection are recognizing that nobody can truly fulfill their emotions and their desires besides one another. And I think that there has been clarity about that recently, but I also think that you're going to get a lot of clarity about this connection soon, because we have the Page of Swords here. So I feel like you will actually be hearing from this person in the near future. And if not, I feel like you'll be getting information about this person in the near future. Whether this is telepathic communication, whether this is psychic communication. We have air and water here, so Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And what's really interesting here is we have like so much eye imagery. I mean, both people in this connection are looking at things from a higher perspective, and Spirit is saying that things are changing for the better, and that you're exactly in alignment with the divine plan right now. And the best thing that you can do for yourself is continue to look at the glass half full and not empty. Keep setting positive intentions. Keep hoping for the best. Now, I do feel like this communication from this person is not going to be like this person pouring their heart out or telling you their life story. I feel like it's going to be the start of something new. Think of High School Musical. This is the start of something new. But with this Ace of Swords here, I almost am kind of getting this energy of like being able to read between the lines here and sense what is being said and what's not being said. And what's kind of interesting is that it really doesn't matter which person you are, because these psychic abilities are opened. We have two eyes here, both third eyes are open. And so both of you are going to be able to sense the underlying energies underneath the casual communication. And it's going to help both of you grow closer in a weird way. I feel like it's starting a new precedent. Like it's a fresh start. You're going to have more understanding. This person might be telling you about circumstances in their life. This person might be telling you about just interesting things happening with them. I feel like this is going to be something that's kept light, but also I feel like both parties here are kind of intelligent and funny. So I feel like it's just going to be a really refreshing thing to communicate with this person and talk about these things. There's also something about studying here. I almost wonder if you guys are like studying each other, or one of you is studying in school, or maybe both of you are. But this is like really exciting energy, wish fulfillment, coming out of sadness. I feel like for a while, maybe one or both of you within this connection were just really disappointed about how things went down within this connection, or you just like weren't really doing very well in life, and maybe just struggling with a negative mindset. Maybe you were doing absolutely fine, but just in your head you were like things just aren't going my way. But I feel like emotionally, Spirit is saying that you're getting to a point of inner peace and wish fulfillment that's going to make you very, very happy. And Spirit is just incredibly proud. Like, and with these arrows here, I feel like it's literally just saying like there's nowhere to go but up. And with these wreaths here, like I feel like there's going to be some kind of victory here, a sense of accomplishment, and feeling like, wow, I really have come so far. I really have done so much. So like this is a really beautiful energy to be in, pile 2. So trust me, there's some really good things coming for you. So Spirit, what else do you want pile 2 to know about this connection? And honestly, with this Wheel of Fortune, I almost wonder if Ferris wheels are significant to this in any reason. This one makes me think of a Ferris wheel. So we have the 6 of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Eight of Pentacles. And we have the Seven of Wands. On the back of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups. I really feel like this could be a new emotional beginning for the both of you. With the Six of Pentacles here, I feel like you both are reaching a point in your personal lives where you feel balanced in a practical sense. There's a good level of give and take. Like you're not in any kind of financial deficits. Like you're just in a place where you feel solid, you feel grounded, you feel comfortable, you feel like there's a good work, personal life balance here. And I feel like this person actually wants to give something to you, like a gift or something. It might be something really small, and it might not even be like something this person buys. Like it might be something they make or something. But I feel like this person just wants to give more of their time and their energy to you. With this Knight of Pentacles here, I feel like something fresh with this person is almost assured. We have 3 aces here. So with this Knight of Pentacles, I feel like Spirit is saying, like, this is happening. Like, this is coming. It might be a little slow. So that's why it's important to stay in this energy of allowing the wheel to turn. But with this Knight of Pentacles, I mean, this is someone solid and reliable. Also, I'm really sorry if you can hear music. I live above people, and they're very loud, and they play music whenever they're arguing or making up from arguing. So hopefully that's not too loud and disturbing. But with this Knight of Pentacles here, you know, I love that it's represented by a wheel, because we do have so much circle energy, and I feel like it's talking about just cycles. And with all these aces here, there's a fresh cycle coming. And with the Wheel of Fortune, you know, this is all about a rejuvenation of passion, reigniting that fire. I really want to... Oh my God. Okay. It's literally like 6 in the morning. Like what are they doing? But yeah, this is just a very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy to be in. Both of you are reaching a point where there's harmony between mind, body, and spirit. And I think whatever is going to happen here, like, you both are going to realize, I feel like almost like with this Page of Swords, like when this person reaches out, it's like that spark is going to be rekindled, whether you want it to or not. And I feel like you both have a desire to work on things. You know, I feel like you both have been working on yourselves a lot. You've been working on your own happiness, your own healing, your own abundance. Maybe for some of you, you're entrepreneurs, or you've been working on creative projects, like a side hustle. Or, you know, you've been studying, you've been working really hard, and Spirit's acknowledging that, and that you're doing excellent with that. And I feel like both people within this connection are realizing that they want to work towards this. But one thing Spirit wants you to be aware of is that there is a level of defensiveness here, of still having your guard up, still having barriers up. And I feel like Spirit is asking you to try to not let that happen, to try and be more open. This person might be a little guarded. I feel like this is just a guarded energy. And the Spirit's just wanting you to be aware that this will be there. So it's really important that you speak your truth and be authentic. You know, you don't have to like pour your heart out, but it is ideal, at least from Spirit's perspective, that, you know, you be honest, be truthful. And also I think this is also kind of about taking things a little slow and allowing them to develop in their own time. It's kind of interesting because we have water and air on top and earth and fire on the bottom. And I think it's a time for, it's like the fire and the air is going to be more known in the beginning, and then those are going to kind of fizzle, and then the earth and the water energy is going to be what is prevalent. So it's really interesting because we have 3 aces, and on the back of the deck we have the Ace of Cups, and I feel like Spirit is saying that you know, the feelings are mutual here, and there really could be an emotional new start here, but you both are going to have to want it and want to work for it and want to work at it. And I feel like Spirit is saying to follow your gut when it comes to this connection. I mean, you're already incredibly intuitive, so you can trust what your gut tells you about this connection. And, you know, aces are all about opportunities. So, you know, don't be so defensive that you push away a new opportunity, even if that's why you might need to let go of things if you haven't already, because if you have your guard up, if you're too defensive, it could affect this opportunity. But this is really beautiful, and I really do feel like this could be working towards, it's interesting because the only ace we don't have is the Ace of Pentacles. So while this connection might not be going towards commitment quite yet, I feel like the spark of passion, the feelings are still there. And I think the biggest thing that's happening now is you're going to be getting clarity about something relating to this connection. So this is really, really beautiful. Let's go ahead and get channeled messages from your person and see what they would say to you. So Spirit, what would pile 2's person say to pile 2, please? I left you before you could leave me, which is interesting coming out over the 5 of Cups. We will be together again. Yeah, I was feeling that. I replay our conversations over and over. I'm so attracted to you, and I remember every detail of that day. And on the back of the deck, we have, I wish I could take back my words. So then moving on to my channeled messages, let's see what's going on here. Okay, so Spirit, what do you want? What does pile 2's person want pile 2 to know? I am so proud of you. How can I ever repay you? I love your sense of humor. What else would pile 2 say, Spirit? I don't know who I am anymore. I'm still healing. And on the back of the deck, your soul is so beautiful. And I love this because I feel like with this coming out over the 7 of Wands, that is that sort of defensiveness where it's like you both are kind of protecting yourselves because you are wary and you are unsure. But this is a deeply spiritual connection, and I think that, you know, you don't have to be like complete. Oh my gosh, I just picked these up, and this is from the last deck, and look what we got again. This card fell off of my tarot deck and we got the Ace of Wands. So I feel like that's a positive omen, that there really is like mirroring passion here. I'm going to murder my neighbors. Oh shit, I don't mean that. I'm kidding. That wasn't real. That was totally sarcastic. I'm not having death threats out here. I'm just incredibly annoyed. Oh gosh, you know, I mean, it's like, oh my gosh. All right, Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 2 when it comes to this connection? What do you want them to know? Luck is on your side, new moon in Sagittarius. Meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. That's interesting, that came out for the last pile. And on the back of the deck, we have don't let pride get in your way, full moon in Leo. So yeah, Spirit's asking you to, you know, don't be too proud to admit your true feelings. A lot of intuitive messages you will get within meditation. So any weird symbols or signs that you feel could be, you could get messages about this connection in meditations. This is actually really making me think of Avatar and, you know, the fish, like the yin and yang fish. I feel like you both parties here are coming into balance within themselves, and you know, Spirit is saying, hey, like we're getting stuff aligned here, so this is pretty good. Okay, so let's get some more advice. So Spirit, what else do you want? Pile. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. We just had like 7 trillion come out, but I'm gonna take them all for you because you deserve that. So we have this, and it says power. You instinctively know what is right for you, and you have the power to say no or to walk away at any time. We have these 2 cards, and one says criticizing one another will only lead to further unhappiness. Love and accept each other as you are, and your relationship will magically transform. We have this card, only time will tell. Oh my gosh, butterflies. We have this one, and it says, when it comes to the matters of the heart, there is no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of life and love. We also have this card, and it says, acceptance is the key to inner peace. At times we must accept things as they are. There is no point in trying to change that which is beyond our control. And we have this card, and it says soulmate. Your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this and they will manifest physically. And this is so beautiful because I think you guys are recognizing how deep of a soul connection this is, and I definitely think this is coming in for a really, like, this is a fresh start happening. I mean, we have 1 million aces, and yeah, I'm so happy for you guys and so excited. But now I'm gonna get you some songs and letters. So, Spirit, what do you want pile 2? What songs do you have for them? Get some letters and numbers. Okay. So we have 6, we have 2 7s, so 777 could be a synchronicity. This bitch is broken, yeet. We have a 5. We have a 3. We have another 3, which almost looks like an 8. And we have another 8, so 888 could be a synchronicity. We have a 0, which reminds me of the Fool. We have a 1 here. So we have an M or a W, however you want to see that, a V. We have an X. We have 2 O's, so we have C. We have 2 C's and 2 O's, so, and I'm thinking of like XOXO, Gossip Girl. We also have a 9, which I think I did that. Yeah, it looks like that's all the letters. Cocoa could be something, I don't know, maybe y'all like Cocoa Puffs. Maybe somebody's like a COO or has their own company. I'm also thinking of like a cove, like water. Fox as well, I don't know. But okay, let's look at your songs now. So we have Blase by Ty Dolla $ign. We have Oh, this one's been coming out a lot. We have Imaginary by Evanescence. Excuse me. We have Summer 16 by Drake. And we have About You Now by our queen, Miranda Cosgrove. Oh my gosh, are you guys excited for the iCarly reboot? Because I sure am. But pile four, what the hell? Pile two. I am going to leave your reading here. Thank you guys so much for watching this all the way through. If you did, definitely leave me a comment down below and let me know how this resonates, and go ahead and leave me a like and subscribe for more readings like this. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this, and I hope you'll come back and visit me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 3. If you guys chose the Selenite Palm Stone and the Santa Muerte Tarot, this is going to be your reading. And this is just looking at what Spirit wants you to know about this connection. So one problem I've noticed that we've been running into, which it's not necessarily a problem, I feel like there's a reason for it, but a lot of people seem to feel like I'm picking up on their energy rather than their person. So to combat this, I have both people in the connection within these cards. So this side is person A and this side is person B, and you decide which one is you and which one is your person. Now this person might not be the person that you're thinking of. It could honestly end up being somebody else. But if this sounds like somebody that you know, that you've been in a connection with, that you recognize, then stay tuned, because we'll get a message from Spirit, we'll get channeled messages, advice, and then we'll pull letters and songs. So the animal card is going to represent the person, kind of the energy that they're in right now, and like aspects of their personality. And then the chakra card is going to represent their energy towards the connection as a whole and the other person. So person A is being represented by the mouse and the crown chakra instinct card. And person B is being represented by the cheetah and the service card. So starting over here with person A, this person could have earth placements in their chart. I get a very nervous energy from person A. Person A is a lot more unsure of themselves. They're probably in a bit of a chaotic energy as of right now. This could be due to anxiety or just kind of feeling like their life is a bit out of control. And I feel like with person A, there's this energy of just like fear. But one of the positives about the mouse is that, you know, they're very organized, they're very detail oriented, and they're very good at picking up on the little things that other people might not. But what's interesting here is that their energy is represented by the crown chakra towards this connection. And I almost feel like this instinct card is almost talking more so about a blocked crown chakra, because the mouse can often talk about being small-minded. And I don't think that this person is small-minded, whether it's you or your person. I don't think they're small-minded in a literal sense. I just think that maybe their fears and everything that they're worried about is preventing them from seeing the fuller picture and listening to messages from the divine. I feel like they're behaving in a way right now that is pretty instinctual in terms of their like habits. And what I mean by instinctual is like they're almost operating out of fear. It's like it's kind of a survival mode energy. And it's kind of just hard to see from like a spiritual standpoint, because this person has an incredibly strong spiritual instinct. And I think when it comes to this connection, this person A knows deep down that there's something here, or they know what is right or what is wrong for them. They know, they know, quote, know these things, but I feel like it's buried deep, deep, deep. Whatever they know about this connection, it's buried quite deeply, because it seems that they're only able to focus on the physical realm right now. They might be, in a place right now financially that's not very ideal for them. They might be, really just worried about their survival right now. But moving over to the cheetah, this is person B. So person B is somebody very energetic. This is a more like dominant energy. Masculine or dominant, I would say. It doesn't have to be masculine, because I could totally see it's just this cheetah person has much more confidence in themselves. They recognize they have a much more solid sense of self. The cheetah is represented by fire. This person could be a really good runner or chaser, but they could just be really fast in general. This could be somebody kind of impulsive, somebody to make really quick decisions. This person B, could have fire placements in their chart. At the very least, I feel like this person is quite passionate, and they usually know what they want, like right out the gate. Person B is somebody who maybe sometimes has trouble listening to what others tell them, because they get so focused and so driven on a certain goal that that's kind of all that they can see. But I feel like the person B is somebody who is well-meaning. I don't think that they do anything ever intentionally with like bad intentions. This is somebody who might have trouble seeing the consequences of their actions when they are really hyper-focused on a goal or something. And then they might realize later that something will come back to bite them or something like that. But in terms of their energy, they're in towards person A and the connection. They're connected by their sacral chakra. So this is somebody who probably feels very passionate about the connection and the other person. This person definitely wants to be of service to person A and the connection. I feel like this person recognizes that person A doesn't have as much confidence in themselves as they should. It's kind of interesting, because I almost feel like, person B is seeing color while person A is almost just seeing everything in black and white and gray. And I think person B really cares about person A, and person B wishes that person A had more confidence in themselves, and person B has a strong desire to help person A in any way they can. These are two people who probably don't see eye to eye on everything, but they come from two very different perspectives. Fire and earth are two totally different energies, and these are definitely two people who operate who see things differently from one another. I felt like I had something more to say, but now I'm unsure. I feel like person A is self-aware that they're not in the best space right now, and person B has this desire to help them, but I feel like person B kind of has I don't want to say pushy, because I don't think it's like necessarily pushy. I think it's just person A has an aversion to help, and person B is somebody just very, very caring and wants to help. And so there might be just a disconnect there, because person A is somebody who really feels like they have to do everything on their own, and they have to do it their way, and you know, they're a little bit nitpicky with how they go about things, and might have a really hard time allowing help, while person B is somebody who's, you know, really energetic, really motivated, wants to help other people, wants to be there for people, and is like, hey, like, why won't you let me help you? Like, come back, mouse. Like, I don't know. But no matter which person you are, let's see what Spirit wants you to know about this connection and what you need to hear. So these messages, the tarot specifically, is not going to come from the other person. It's coming directly from Spirit, but we'll hear from the other person in channel messages, and we'll hear advice and letters. I already said that, so sorry, ADD brain. Okay, so Spirit, what does pile 3 need to know about their connection with this person? Okay, we have the 2 of Swords. We have the 8 of Swords. We have the 2 of Pentacles. We have the 2 of Cups. And we have the 6 of Cups. Interesting. So, lots of 2s here. And a 6. Well, we have all even numbers, so that's something to be aware of. So I feel like this is talking, if you're person B, this is giving you insight on person A's situation. And if you are person A, this message is trying to give you insight on what person B is doing, and also on your situation. So the mouse energy being in a very fearful state is accurate and definitely confirmed by these tarot cards. With the 2 of Swords and the 8 of Swords, not only is person A incredibly fearful of this connection, but they're also just way too stuck in their head. This person feels incredibly closed off to anything that could be good for them, because I feel like person A has the mindset of being afraid of really good things, because what if those good things, you know, go to shit, essentially. Person A is kind of a person who creates self-fulfilling prophecies by essentially fearing them into existence. I think person A, and I want to say this as compassionately as possible, especially if you are person A, person A is not really aware of how much their perception is skewed by their own fear. They've really gotten to this point where they might almost be doing really reckless things, and cutting people off and like cutting things out of their life, because I do just feel like they're overwhelmed, and the state that they're in, like, I can feel it right now. And it is a really difficult state to be in. It's really like, you know, we have to remember that this crazy organ in our skulls is responsible for everything we see, think, perceive, do, and understand about the world. And so person A has accumulated so much fear that they are unable to listen to their intuition at all. And they would rather cut cords and cut things out of their lives themselves than open up and have it be ripped away from them, because they already feel so crappy. And I think that they've almost gotten used to being in that state. Like, it's almost an instinct at this point. They're very out of touch spiritually. And maybe they don't realize that, but instinctually, they're operating out of fear. And I want to correct myself because I said that acronym incorrectly because I couldn't remember what the E standed for, but the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. But let's be real here. I don't think that does justice to how real that anxiety can really feel. And if you do feel that, if you are person A, it is really valid. And if you're person B, I feel like Spirit's just trying to get you to understand how real this is to them. And I know it might be harder from your perspective to understand, because if you're person B, you have pure intentions. Your intentions are very pure. You want the best here. And I feel like Spirit's trying to stress, especially if you're person B, that it's not personal. Like, person's A's fear is not personal. It's entirely related to their past experiences, things that they've dealt with growing up, probably past relationships, maybe even just like one. But I feel like person A has had a really, really hard time just recently. Like, things have just been really rough. And here's the beautiful thing with this two here, this Two of Pentacles. There really is potential for both of you to grow together. But person A is going to have to get out of their head, and person B is going to have to stop operating from a fire perspective and try to operate from a more nurturing, emotional perspective. What I love about this Two of Cups here, this is literally my favorite Two of Cups card. And actually what's funny is when I did this reading yesterday, the Two of Cups came out in this deck. And I actually think the reading was entirely different, but I'm happy it still came out because, first of all, we have so many twos here. You know, twos are duality, partnership, balance, indecision. But with this Two of Cups here, I noticed how I was talking about those brains. And, you know, these skeletons, you know, they've got cups of water in their head. And I feel like what this connection is lacking is emotional receptivity. And I feel like there is compassion here, but the compassion needs to be expressed differently, if that makes sense. You know, if you're person B, I said person B as I went to person A. If you're person B, your approach, while well-meaning, might be really intense for person A, who is already fearful, who is already overthinking everything, who already feels like they aren't enough, that they'll never be able to do enough, that they don't deserve anything good. And the feelings here are real, they're genuine, they're mutual, but they're expressed differently. And I feel like for person B, they're going to have to understand or reach a point where they are more willing to work with person A and be patient and kind of allow them to have that space, and also will be willing to be collaborative. And because this card to me is all about healing and growing together. And with this Two of Cups here, you know, I really do, and the Six of Cups, might I add. The Six of Cups is a soulmate card, and it's also talks about, you know, sweet feelings, genuine, pure intentions. This could be somebody that you've known since childhood. This is maybe you're not talking to this person right now. I feel like it's quite possible, you know, maybe person A cut person B off because, you know, they're just dealing with their own stuff, and person B's approach was too much for person A, and I think, and maybe the feelings on top of that were too much for person A, and I feel like I'm almost kind of rambling, and it's like I can kind of understand, like, person A's mind is just racing all the time. And person B has the purest of intentions with the Six of Cups and genuine feelings. But I feel like person B needs to be more patient and like calm in their approach. Person B might get really fired up. You know, this is a fire sign, and they might express their passions in ways that freaks person A out because they're not used to something like that. And I think it's really interesting because I do feel like person B really touches person A's heart. I almost see like this being person A and this being person B. The cheetah, like this is the cheetah and this is the mouse. But it's like the mouse is always hiding. Like the mouse doesn't want to open up. The mouse doesn't want to let person B in. The mouse doesn't want to let the cheetah in, essentially. And so for the cheetah, it's like Spirit is kind of asking person B to be more hands-off with their approach, because I do think that person A feels shame or discomfort with people expressing interest in them or having strong feelings for them or wanting to help them, because person A doesn't see their value. They don't see their worth right now. And person B is somebody so willing to give that and has like the purest of intentions here. I feel like I can't say that enough. But until person A can see it can get out of this like really anxious mindset, because one important thing about the Eight of Swords, especially if you're person A, because if you're person A, I want to stress that person B is not, they don't want to hurt you. They don't want to do anything. Like, they want to help you. But I completely understand the perspective of the mouse being like, you know, I want to do this myself. I want to be self-sufficient. I want to be independent. Like, I don't want anyone to help me. It is okay to ask for help. It's always okay to ask for help. But maybe you don't want it from somebody that you have romantic feelings with. And maybe that's something, if you're person B, that you need to understand, especially if person A is somebody very prideful. They might have a very hard time admitting when they need help. And what I was saying about the Eight of Swords is that this talks about how, you know, someone might be feeling trapped, but the reality of the situation is that they have the ability to get themselves out of it. And it's quite possible too. And I think if you're person A, Spirit is saying, you know, be gentle with person B, you know, be tactful, give them the space that they need, be willing to open up and ask, like, you know, hey, what do you need? Like, is that space? Is that whatever? If person A and person B, like, if this connection, you aren't in communication, I feel like Spirit is kind of asking, you know, person A to trust, you know, these emotions, these feelings are very real. And with the Two of Cups and all the twos here, Spirit is really saying that there's major potential for something here. This is a beautiful, beautiful connection here. And for those of you who might not be with this person, there's a good potential for reconciliation here or some kind of reunion. But if you're person A, Spirit is saying that, you know, your feelings are valid, and anxiety is not fun to deal with. But this energy, that's not a quality life to be living. And I'm not saying that to sound judgmental or anything. It's just, coming from experience, I completely understand where person A is coming from. And when you're in that mindset, it is really hard to understand life in any way outside of that perspective. I mean, it really, I'm trying to find the right word. It eliminates any ability to view life outside of this scary, stormy, dark existence. And it's honestly hard to see how far gone you can be in that anxiety. It's hard to even realize you're that deep in it until you get out of it and you're able to look at it in hindsight. So the biggest thing that Spirit is saying, whichever person you are, you know, if you're the mouse, it's really time to start addressing these perception issues and these anxiety issues, you know, whether that's on your own, whether that's getting help, whatever you need. Because let's be real, everybody's needs are going to be different. And if you're person B, understanding that person A isn't running away from you or isn't avoiding you or isn't pushing you away because they don't like you, it's because they don't like themselves right now. They don't like their life right now. They really don't like existing right now. And that absolutely breaks my heart to say. And it really isn't anything personal. But I feel like there is great potential to heal together and to transform together. And I feel like with this Two of Pentacles, Spirit is saying that there's going to have to be, in order for this connection to work, you both are going to have to meet halfway and be willing to work together and be practical about your approach and find solid ground. I think that's the biggest thing. But let's go ahead and see what else Spirit wants you to know about this connection, because this is really interesting. Kind of how it's looking at the different perspectives. Okay, so, okay, we have one popping out. So we have the Five of Pentacles now too. Okay, but Spirit, what else do you want pile 3 to know about this connection? Okay, we have the Seven of Cups. We have the Page of Cups. We have the Page of Swords. We have the High Priestess. And on the back of the deck, we have the Eight of Wands. Give me one sec. My throat hurts so badly and I need water. Okay, so with this Five of Pentacles popping out, this is definitely understandable and just further relating to the place that person A is in. And I feel really called to talk about how, you know, it's easy to say, oh, just stop being anxious. Just get over it. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, it's just in your head. Like, just you're fine. Like, figure it out. Like, you know, just have you, like, honestly, person A, like, have you just told your anxiety to stop? Have you just told it, just, like, stop, just stop? Like, that's not a thing. And with this Five of Pentacles here, I do feel like person A is in a place financially, or just if not financially, just like materially, like they're really not happy in their current environment. And this could be because, you know, maybe with these two pages coming out, I almost wonder if the both of you are younger. Like maybe you both live with families, like you're in school or something like that. You know, I almost wonder if, you know, person A maybe has a really rough family life at home, and that's something really hard to deal with. But also, you know, if you both are on your own and, like, you know, are responsible for taking care of yourselves, I feel like person A is in a place, you know, financially, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, where they're just drained, exhausted, and feeling a bit hopeless. And especially if this is a financial situation, it's a lot harder for them to just get out of this anxiety because they're worried about basic needs and survival. And my heart aches for person A, because if you're not having your basic needs met, you can't live a full quality life. It's just like plain and simple. If you're in a place where you just feel desolate, you know, I honestly feel like this Five of Pentacles doesn't do it justice. I'm gonna grab my Rider-Waite because we just need to see. And I think it's valid to take this Two of Swords out too, because I mean, I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen the traditional tarot deck, but I feel like the imagery is much more valid. You know, this person is just in a horrible, horrible place right now. You know, they're struggling. They're just trying to get through the day. They're in survival mode. And, you know, like I like to talk about the show Survivor. I think it expresses great parallels in, you know, just the real world. Because when you're there, you know, the people on that island, they can't trust anybody. They can't, they're always watching their back. They're focused on their basic needs. They're focused on surviving. You know, they can't trust anybody. They can't rely on anybody. And I feel like for person A, you know, they say on Survivor, when your fire is gone, so are you. And I feel like person A is lost right now. They're not within themselves, and they need to get into a place where they're able just to feel more comfortable materially and be in a space where they can breathe. You know, this person is really fearful right now. And, you know, person B, I think, is an excellent friend and a wonderful person to person A. But because they are in the survival mode, because they've learned that they can't trust anybody, because they've learned that things, I mean, person A just feels absolutely worthless as a person. And it just, oh my gosh, I just wish I could be like, oh, person A, like, I just want to give them the biggest hug. But like, I almost feel like they don't even think they deserve the hug. And they do. They deserve so many things. And so it's almost like, so for person B, it's almost painful when person B wants to help person A, because they feel so terrible about themselves and they feel so broken and alone and cold and hopeless right now, that it's painful for person B to want to help them. They're like, why do you even want to help me? Like, why do you even want to be around me? Like, my situation is not good. Like, this person A truly believes that they're not worthy or deserving of love. They don't believe it. And this is a fallacy. This is an illusion. With this Seven of Cups, this is all about disillusionment and not seeing things clearly. And it's obvious that this anxiety, you know, let's get the Eight of Swords out too. This anxiety, this inability to see the truth, you know, they just feel trapped. I'll continue talking while I look for it. But, you know, with this Page of Cups and this Page of Swords here, I feel like, you know, one of you could have water placements, one of you could have air placements. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces for water. Okay, yeah, here's the Eight of Swords. And if you notice, both of these cards, they're blindfolded. And in this one, they're injured. I know this person just feels absolutely trapped. And they have zero ability to trust or believe or have faith in the universe or good things right now, because they feel abandoned. And that doesn't mean that they've had their spirit hasn't turned their back on them, but it feels like from their perspective that they have. And if you're person A, I want you to know that the spirit has not turned their back on you. And this is not an easy situation, and I'm not gonna sit here and just say like, oh, it'll be fine, just like cheer up, like it's all good. But like, I just want you to know that like I am sending you all my love, and I, you know, just hope the best for you, and you know, you deserve the best. And I want you to know that no matter how much money you have, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, you know, you are, the fact that you exist is evidence of the fact that you are worthy of kindness, of love, of support, of generosity. You are not worthless. You are not any of those things. You are an incredible divine being, and you deserve so many, like, you just deserve the world. And I'm so sorry that you don't feel that way. And be patient with yourself, be kind with yourself. And I just want you to know it's okay to ask for help. You don't have to be strong. You don't have to do everything yourself. You already are so strong, and you already have endured so much. You don't have to do it alone. But I hope you know that, like, if you are person A, like, I'm sending you all my love, and I hope that things get better. But if you're person B, you know, and you've been having a hard time because you don't understand why person A is pushing you out and not allowing you to, you know, help them and take action, it's nothing to do with you. If you are person B, you are so precious, and so you have such good intentions when it comes to this connection. And this is not your fault. But I also want to make something very clear. You can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped. And you're only going to hurt yourself, if you're person B, by continually trying to force this on someone. And even if you're not forcing it or anything like that, Spirit's trying to get you to understand that what person A is doing has nothing to do with you. They've got things that they need to work through. And, you know, person B, I mean, if you're the cheetah and, you know, you want this love, you're either going to have to make a decision of, okay, well, I'm willing to be patient and kind of allow this person to work their life out, and I'll live my life in the meantime, or just keep moving forward, keep on running forward, and, you know, find your happiness. Because let's be clear here, both sides deserve to be happy, deserve to find their happiness, and deserve genuine, authentic love. And neither person deserves this situation. I feel like neither of you deserve this, and it really sucks because it seems like a lot of external factors. And what's interesting here is, even though I was messing around with this tarot deck, on the back of it we have the Hermit, Virgo energy. And I just almost wonder, you know, if this is some kind of separation, if this is some kind of where you guys both need to kind of go within and understand, you know, person B needs to realize how this isn't their fault, and how, you know, even if you do want the best for someone, even if you do have the purest and kindest intentions, you can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped. And, you know, person A is having to realize that, you know, while their situation may not be ideal, they need to be able to get out of that fear-based mindset, get out of that anxiety. And while that might not be easy, it might take a very long time. Anxiety is not something that you can just flip a switch and turn off. It's something that you have to work through. But I feel like there's a very intuitive connection here. The fact that we start with a 2 and end with a 2. I mean, we have 4 2s here. So 222 or 2222 could be a significant connection, especially, I mean, a significant number, especially if you use like military time on your phone. But yeah, with this 7 of Cups, I feel like you guys have dreams about each other all the time. I feel like there's this deep desire and this deep longing, like this passion for one another. And with the High Priestess here as well, this is a psychic connection. You guys connect on the astral plane. Like, I feel like you both intuitively feel each other. And I feel like for person B, that's why it's so agonizing, because they know that person A is not in a place where they want to be. They want to help person A, but they know that it's just like it pains them to see person A in this situation. And it also, I feel like, pains them a little bit to feel like their help isn't wanted because they want to help so badly. And person A, I feel like they know deep down that person B does have really kind intentions, but person A has convinced themselves that they're not worthy of help, that they don't deserve that help, and that they don't deserve to get better, that they don't deserve any good things. And so they would rather push that away or refuse to be open to it than be open to it, realize that it's there and that they could lose it. And so going forward with this Page of Cups and this Page of Swords here, you know, I feel like person B is likely represented in the Page of Cups and person A is likely represented in the Page of Swords. So I'm actually going to switch their positions. But I feel like you both are learning. You both could be studying or both just be younger. And I think this also, even if you're not younger, I mean, you both, it doesn't matter how old you are. I feel like this speaks to 2 different communication styles here. I feel like person B really likes to speak from the heart, and person A has a hard time talking about their emotions. You know, the Page of Swords does not know, like, talking about love to a Page of Swords is like trying to explain quantum physics to a baby. Like, it's not, does not compute. And I think what's interesting is that the Page of Cups is looking up and the Page of Swords is looking down. And I feel like it just even goes to show perspective. I feel like, you know, the cheetah is a lot more optimistic, a lot more hopeful, likes to look on the brighter side of things, you know. I feel like person B is more likely to be like a morning person, gets up, like ready to start the day type of person. And person B is just a lot more pessimistic due to their mindset, due to their circumstances. they look at the glass half empty, and when the cheetah's not looking at themselves, they're looking at the glass half full. Because let's be real here, I think also, you know, person B, the cheetah, is very physically attractive, which I'm not saying that person A isn't, but I think that they have just like very distinct features, and person B is much more confident in their physical appearance. And so I think that even that is intimidating to person A. Like, they feel like person B is way out of their league. But with this High Priestess here, I feel like there has been a lack of honesty about, and I don't even think it's like either person is lying. It's just like, I don't think either of you want to open up about the real feelings here and the truth of it. But intuitively, you both know that there's something real here. There's something really special here. But these energies are not aligning at this moment. And that's what Spirit wants you to know. And whichever viewer you are, person A or person B, you have free will. And you have the power to cultivate your destiny, have the life that you want. And it might take time. It might take a long time. And, you know, these things don't happen in a second. But attitude is important. But patience and allowing things to work out for themselves and giving people what they need is important as well. And I feel like Spirit is just, I feel like this reading is really interesting. And I've probably spent so much more time analyzing this one than I have the other piles, because I could see people on both sides of the coin watching this reading. And I feel like there's valid messages on both sides. Because I do feel like you both communicate differently, and you both the things you feel intuitively about one another and the feelings that you have for each other are not expressed very well in actuality. And so it leads to this confusion. And, you know, I think more than anything, both of these people want action here, want change, but the circumstances surrounding it are just rough right now. And we're going to get channel messages now from your person. So, pile 3. What does pile 3's person want them to know, Spirit? I know I messed up everything. I am not available underneath that 8 of Swords. My life is not as together as it seems. I can't stop thinking about you. I wish I could share my good news with you. And on the back of the deck, I left when I saw you with someone. And also, you and I were too young. But I think what's interesting is my life is not together as it seems. I feel like if you're person A watching and asking about person B, oh wait, no, I mean, if you're person B and you're watching person A, I feel like you're really confused because, you know, I feel like person A sees person B as somebody so put together, and person B is really confused because person B is like, I mean, like, it's not like I'm, you know, sailing off on a yacht, like living my sunshines and rainbows life. Like, I'm not put together either. Like, I'm a shit show too. And I think person A is too fearful to admit that they're like how bad their situation is right now, and whatever that may be, and whether it's just mentally, whether it's financially, whether it's whatever it is. And so I feel like both parties are like, you know, neither of you are seeing the full picture here, which makes sense with the High Priestess. So, Spirit, what does pile 3 want to say? Pile 3's person. Okay, we got 5 coming out here. So we have, I love our friendship. What was I saying? Survival mode. I have so much anxiety. Yep. Our connection confuses me. I want you back. And on the back of the deck, we have, I'm torn between you and someone else, and it's hard to be honest with myself, and I can't bear to see you with anyone else. So yeah, maybe for some of you, you know, part of their situation is they're stuck. They can't decide. Take that one as it resonates. And honestly, with this, I'm torn between you and someone else. It might be I'm torn between that someone else might be just their fear, their anxiety themselves. Like I'm this lone wolf energy. I'm torn between opening up to you or allowing myself or not doing that. And if it's person B, it's like, well, you know, you're pushing me away, and so I'm don't know what to do here. So it's a tough situation, definitely. But let's go ahead and look at some advice, because I think advice is definitely important here. So Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 3 at this time? Luck is on your side. New Moon in Sagittarius, that came out in the second pile. Nothing is yet set in stone, mutable moon. And on the back of the deck, take time to breathe out, disseminating moon. I'm going to get you another advice card only because both of these two came out in the second reading. Are you fucking kidding? Oh wait, okay. I was about to say the other Pisces card came out, and I was like, are you telling me the Pisces card's coming out as well? But this is a different one. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. So at this time, no matter who you are, whether you're person A or person B, Spirit is saying that the odds are ever in your favor, as Effie Trinket likes to say, and nothing is set in stone here. But at this time, it would be best for both of you to focus on your spiritual growth and the present, so the practical matters in front of you, the things that you need to deal with. And just take time, give this situation time and space, because that's what it needs. And you know, Spirit's confirmed this is not, it's not like this is unrequited. This is something that's just not right for the current circumstances. Just because it's not right now, right now, doesn't mean it won't be forever. So let's get you some love cards. I bet this one's going to be the longest one. I feel like I talked about that for so long. And it's so hard when I'm reading too, because I feel like I just get so lost in it. And there's just so many things that I feel like Spirit is telling me to say. And I don't know, I just want both person A and person B to be on the same page here and have a better understanding, so that whichever person you are, you have a better idea of what's going on here, that you're not going crazy, because I feel like you both are thinking about each other a lot. So Spirit, what does pile 3 need to know about this connection? What advice do you have for them? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to take this one. This is Pretty Heart with Wings. The past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A path is now available. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. So, what else do you want pile 3 to know? So we have this card. And it says, freedom. There is nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. On the back of the deck, we have this card. And it says, surrender. At times, we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go and all will work out. So yeah, I think this advice is really telling, because it really doesn't matter what side you're on. Because Spirit, if you're person A, Spirit is saying, you know, yes, you might have been wronged in the past. Yes, things might be tricky. Yes, things might be difficult. But just because things have been bad doesn't mean that they can't be good in the future. And for person B, it's saying, you know, you can't hold yourself back if somebody is pushing you away, you know. At times you just have to let go and let God, like just let it happen, and trust that what is meant to be will be, and if it's meant to be, it will happen when the time is right. And I know that's always super irritating to say because we want things now, and we, you know, we're impatient, but life doesn't work that way. And you know, the universe doesn't work on our time schedule. So can I get some letters and numbers for pile 3, Spirit? Okay. I'll get you some songs. Oh, you guys got 5. Okay. So we have an N and a U. I'm feeling, I just heard unfit or unwell. I feel like more unfit though. You know what I'm seeing as well? The Zuck. So I feel like you guys like Facebook stalk each other or something, if you have Facebook or social media in general. But I feel like it's like Facebook specifically. NK. With the K, honestly, I don't know why, I get Kentucky and New Hampshire. I was gonna be like North Korea, but like, yeah, the likelihood of anybody ever watching this video from North Korea is very slim. But, or, you know, maybe something related to North Korea is relevant. You know, maybe you watch like documentaries about it or something. You know, we have 999, 666. We also have an 8. We have a 3. We have a 7. We have a 0. Okay, so let's look at your songs now. These can be messages, the title, the artist can be relevant. Okay, so another K-pop song coming out, Come Back Home by 21. Oh, and for my K-pop people, fun fact, that's actually they're my favorite, which I don't really listen to it a ton anymore, but I did when I was younger because I got into it when I was like 2012, and yeah, they're my favorite. Yeah, so now I'm an old lady and all of my groups disbanded. So we have Jigsaw Falling Into Place by Radiohead. I love the diversity here of songs that we're getting. And we have Misery Business by Paramore. We have Sugar by Flo Rida featuring Winter. And I almost find it interesting that just the word winter, like the artist Winter with all of that winter imagery. And we have Friends by Anne Marie. And I almost wonder, like, you know, you could have this energy of, oh, we're just friends, like, we're just friends, you know, whatever. But it definitely, you know, sure, Jan, you're just friends. But okay, pile 3, I'm gonna leave this reading here. Thank you so much for watching it all the way through. If you did, definitely leave me a like and subscribe if you want to see more readings like this in the future. Comment down below and let me know how this resonates. You know, whether you're person A or person B, I'm sending you hugs, I'm sending you support. You know, I really hope for the best for you, and I hope that things get better. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to read your cards. I'm wishing you the best moving forward, and I hope you'll come back and visit me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 4. If you guys chose the Opalite Butterfly and the 8th House Tarot, this is going to be your reading, and we are going to be looking at what you need to know about this connection. Oh my goodness, these readings have been so interesting so far. The pile 3's reading was literally an hour long. Don't know how, but they needed it, so I don't regret that at all. But essentially, what we have here to start off is both parties in this connection. One problem that I've noticed is it seems like I keep picking up on the viewer's energy at times rather than the person they're asking about. Which honestly, I think that happens for a reason. And my best theory about it is that spirit wants you to be focusing more on yourself and not on the other person. But I mean, I'm not, I don't know. I don't have any answers. So in order to combat that, we have this side to represent person A and this side to represent person B. Now, this might be, so far it has seemed like for the majority of people, I would guess that this is the person that they're thinking of. But if not, if this sounds like somebody that you're in a connection with, but it wasn't the person you're thinking of, it's likely that the universe has a message for you about this person instead. But essentially, we have person A on this side and person B on this side, and you assign who is who, whether you're person A or person B, and they're person A or person B, all up to you and what resonates. But essentially, we have an animal card to kind of represent them, personality traits, current energy, and we have this chakra card to represent their energy towards the connection and the other person. So to start with person A is being represented by the elk spirit, and their energy towards the connection. Person B is being represented by the solar plexus chakra facade card. And then person B is being represented by the starfish, and person B's energy is being represented by another solar plexus chakra card, and this one is dissipating. So this is really interesting. Person A is being represented by earth energies, and person B is being represented by water energies. So you could have water placements in your chart, or more earth. Person B definitely operates more from an emotional center, and person A is definitely more practically motivated. I would also say that person A has more of a masculine energy and person B has more of a feminine energy. Obviously, gender doesn't matter. It's just everyone has a distribution of feminine and masculine energy within themselves, and I would say this one is predominantly feminine and that one is predominantly masculine. But to start with person A, this is somebody who feels a large sense of responsibility. When I was thinking about them, I was thinking of like the quote strong one, the one that, you know, doesn't really like to reveal emotions, doesn't really like to let in what's going on. You know, this is somebody that's very headstrong. Somebody feels that feels like, you know, they have to be responsible for others, protect others. Maybe they're a leader in their workplace, or they have a family, or they feel like they have to take care of family. This is someone who feels a large sense of responsibility and is pretty set in their ways and kind of headstrong. Now, one thing that I'm getting with this elk energy, though, when I was shuffling, I got this especially, was imposter syndrome. Person A definitely struggles because I feel like person A probably has a decent amount of prestige, or at the very least respect by the people in their community or in their friend group and their workplace. And they might be pretty highly regarded, or at the very least seen as somebody who is, you know, trustworthy, responsible, reliable, committed. And I don't mean like within relationships, I just mean like in general, like, oh, you know, they're really focused on their job. Like I feel like their coworkers especially have a really good idea of who they are, like they have a really admirable perspective of this person. But I feel like this person doesn't really see that in themselves. I feel like they hide their insecurities really deep down, but this person really struggles with their self-worth. And it's kind of interesting because I see that parallel within person A and person B. With both of them having their connecting energy in the solar plexus chakra, I feel like this is an intellectual connection, one where you just kind of operate on the same wavelength despite what looks like being from totally different worlds and operating in completely different manners. Talking about person A's energy, though, they have a hard time believing that this connection is even real, or that they're good enough for person B, or that they can be the person that person B needs. They have a hard time understanding why person B would ever be into them. They have a hard time feeling like they will ever be a good partner. They have a hard time understanding why person B shows any interest in them. In fact, these insecurities might be so strong that they believe that person B must be lying or must be crazy or something. I don't even want to say crazy. Like, I feel like this person, okay, if person A is is well off, or like is a really hard worker and has like a prestigious job, I feel like this person is somebody who is worried that somebody would only want them because of what they have and not who they are. And here's what's ironic. Going over to person B is into person A, very much so, but not because of what person A has. Person B thrives on an intellectual and emotional connection. Person B thrives on depth, on real connection with people. And I think it's because, moving on over to person B is somebody physically very attractive, alluring, beautiful. And even if you don't believe that about yourself, clearly person A recognizes it to the point where it's almost intimidating, and they don't believe it. Person B is somebody who, this is like, oh, they could have anyone. Person B could have anyone they wanted. Person B could do anything. You know, person B is gorgeous. Person B is probably very creative, not afraid to be in the spotlight. Person B could do like theater or have a decent following on a social media platform. They could be an artist. They're just less afraid to express themselves, and especially not very afraid to express themselves in front of an audience when they can shine. And I think one thing that person B struggles with is the fact that they have a hard time connecting with people, because a lot of the people around them are very superficial and shallow. And one thing that person B loved about person A was that they felt like person A got them, even though it's like one's on land and one's in water. You know, they have two completely different perspectives. But person B's energy towards the connection is interesting, because I think also person B has really strong feelings for person A. I think these feelings are reciprocated. I think that there's strong feelings on both ends. And person B feels like way too afraid to put themselves out there, because person B is afraid of being rejected by person A. And person B wants person A to be the one to initiate or to take things further if this is a connection that's been happening. I don't really feel like this is a connection where a whole lot has like happened in terms of like you've been together for a really long time. I feel like if you had, there would be more of a better idea here of where you both stood with one another. But with these cards here, this is like completely different perspectives. And what person A doesn't realize is that the person B also has a million insecurities, which we all do, and there's nothing shameful about that. And let's be clear, person B, I think, for the most part, knows that they're talented, knows that they're attractive, but when it comes to finding somebody that they truly vibe with, that they truly connect with, it's so rare and so precious to them that they're afraid of messing anything up because they don't want to lose that. And also, I feel like, they are a bit fragile emotionally. And honestly, I think both parties are kind of fragile emotionally and kind of afraid of love, of true connection, of romance. And so I feel like person B is kind of in this passive place where they fantasize all the time about this beautiful life with person A, about, traveling together or doing these fun things together, or maybe even like simple things like cooking dinner together and like, cuddling and watching movies together. It's, something very, very innocent and sweet and authentic. Both sides are actually. But person B doesn't take action on them. And I feel like person B is getting to this point where person B is kind of tired, They're like, oh, well, they must not be into me, or if they wanted to do something, they would. And so it's like both parties are stubborn because they kind of almost, I feel like person A is more in the energy of they might be focused on their career, they might not be ready for something, they might be too insecure, they might not, like, I feel like person A knows that if they open their heart up to person B and, something happened, it could like crush their soul and they might never recover. And person B is in this spot where like they really want person A, but they also are not going to sit around and wait forever. And so they're kind of like getting in this energy of they fantasize about person A, and I think person A fantasizes about person B as well. And they think about each other all the time. They want each other, but neither seems willing to make the first move or find the confidence to put themselves out there. And we're going to see what the tarot says about this, because for the tarot cards, what we're essentially looking at, I want to make sure I'm not shuffling these upside down. What we're essentially looking at is messages from spirit. So we'll get channeled messages from your person, whether it's A or B, and we'll look at advice. We'll get some advice for you, and we'll look at songs and letters. But the tarot cards are going to be messages directly from spirit to you. So this isn't coming from your person. This is what the universe wants you to know about it. And I do want to clarify, spirit, the universe, it's all interchangeable. It's the same thing. Infinite energy, the cosmos, divine love, whatever. So, cut this. Alrighty, so Spirit, what does pile 4 need to know about their connection? Okay, well, this card clearly wants to pop out. Oh my goodness. Okay, which way do you want to go? Okay. All right, you'll go upright. All right, we have the Page of Pentacles. We have the Two of Swords. We have the Three of Wands. We have the Queen of Wands. Oh, wait, no, the Queen of Pentacles, sorry. This is the Queen of Pentacles. And we have the Nine of Cups. So the placements we have here are earth signs. So Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, Moon in Libra, Sun in Aries, which, holla, I'm an Aries sun too. We have the Queen of Pentacles, so this is earth and water, and we have the Nine of Water, so this is Jupiter in Pisces. So here's what's really interesting about this. One thing that I've noticed as these readings have gone on is it kind of seems like these two cards are representing more of person A. These two cards are more representing person B. And the card in the middle is kind of representing a common idea. Both people, Spirit is saying that both people are running from this connection. And it's kind of interesting because they're both kind of stagnant. But like mentally, they're distancing themselves from the connection. With the Page of Pentacles here, I think this speaks to not only the connection that the potential has and the desire for both parties to invest something more, but I think it speaks to also where they're at in life. I feel like both the Starfish and the Elk are focusing on their abundance right now and focusing on the material world, focusing on building, like I just heard, building a brand, building their brand, creating monetary abundance, feeling secure in life. And one thing about this connection is there's a lot of overthinking here. You know, both parties are intelligent. They connect on an intellectual level. And I think both parties kind of rely on their intellect to navigate them through life. You know, they're smart. You're smart. You know, I feel like there's just a lot of similar energy here. So sometimes I'll say both of you rather than just you, because this is what Spirit wants you to know. But you're both really smart and you rely on your intellect, and you know that you can trust your intellect most of the time. Sometimes we all make dumb decisions sometimes. But here's what's interesting about this Two of Swords card is it's like there's two hands and they're holding these moons. And so the problem is that both parties are trying to assess this situation from a mental perspective. It's like the connection is staying within their heads, but they still feel this underlying current, this gut feeling, this pull towards one another. And it doesn't make logical sense. It's not rational. And I feel like neither parties understand it. And honestly, I wonder, you know, with this being a starfish and with this being an elk, maybe these two people are at a distance from one another. You know, this could be like different countries. This could be cross country. This could be, you know, someone living on a coast and someone living in a landlocked place. This could be a multitude of things. But with this Three of Wands here, there is a desire to expand upon what's already here on both ends. But neither party is willing to take action, and neither party knows how to do it. It's possible a lot of time has passed, and, you know, maybe COVID has had a hand in this as well, just depending on when you're watching this. But with this Queen of Pentacles here, I feel like Spirit is saying that you both are wise beyond your years, and your intellect and your logical mind, while it helps you a lot in terms of gaining success in the material world and creating the life that you want for yourself, it definitely stops you both from expressing those true feelings. And here's what's interesting. I feel like person B is pretty okay with being open emotionally, so long as they know that it will be reciprocated or accepted. But person A, I think, is a bit fearful of emotions. With this, this is practical and logical, and this is emotional and intellectual. And the connecting energy is the fact that there's so much passion here. And, it's possible this could have been like a friends with benefits situation, and or something like that, or it continues to be. But, 3 is an unstable energy. And with this Queen of Pentacles here, I feel like Spirit is telling you that you have more inner wisdom than you realize. The Queen of Pentacles is wise, and even if she's young, and I say she only because it's the Queen of Pentacles, she's wise but beyond her years. And there's a lot, and Spirit is saying that there's a lot more inner wisdom within you than you realize. And I think one of the problems, especially for person A, is that this card right here, this Page of Pentacles, this rose makes me think of it's happening for you, not to you. And this elk, this person A, they believe that everything, like the world is out to get them. Like they don't deserve good things. And they don't understand how things are meant to happen for them. I think they're getting a better idea of it. But like I said, neither party is willing to go out of their comfort zone and set a precedent. But also, I could see a possibility of person B being patient and just like kind of letting person A do their thing and hoping that person A will find their way back to person B. But person B is like getting impatient at this point. They're like, all right, I've got like 1 foot out the door. I feel like that's person B's energy. And with this 9 of Cups, both parties view one another as like a wish come true. But person B is definitely in this energy at this point of, okay, well, it doesn't make any sense for me to just sit here and rot. Like, I almost get this energy like, I'm young, I'm beautiful, I deserve to be getting attention and getting what I want. Like, I deserve, and I don't mean that in like a bratty way. It's like, I'm not gonna waste my youth or waste my good looks on somebody who isn't gonna spend time with me, and somebody who isn't gonna try for me. And it's so ironic because the elk is just oblivious. The elk is literally oblivious to, I feel like, anything the starfish has said or done. And I feel like the elk might not understand the emotional body as much and fears their emotions. Whereas the starfish, I feel like, can typically embrace those emotions, ride with them, because the starfish understands that emotional depth. But the starfish person can get kind of lost in it. And so I can see how with this Jupiter and Pisces here, they fantasize about all of this coming together. Person B fantasizes about all this coming together, but has a hard time thinking about taking action in like any context. They're just like they're not ready. they're not ready to put themselves out there. And I think they intuitively know that it's not time yet. And I feel like whatever the circumstances will obviously be different because it's a general reading. But I do feel like person 2, it's hard to switch between pile and person. I do feel like person 2 is, I mean, person B. If I say person 1, I mean person A. And if I say person 2, I mean person B. Person B, the starfish, is a lot more comfortable in their fantasy thoughts. And I think this is something that extends to their life outside of love as well. It's like they have a lot of dreams for themselves, like achieving a lot of things, but it seems like a lot of those dreams stay in their head and they don't make them a reality. They don't act. So yeah, this is definitely a tricky situation. So Spirit, what else do you want pile 4 to know about this connection? Okay, we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. We have the Page of Swords. We have the Lovers, Gemini. We have the Five of Wands, Saturn and Leo. And we have Judgment, which is Pluto. On the back of on the back of the deck, we have Strength with Leo energy. So this is interesting. So we have coming out here Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We have Gemini with the Lovers. And we have Leo with Strength. Wow, okay. So where do I even start here? So I feel like this connection with the Ace of Cups being in reverse, there was a false start here. And maybe like both parties wanted something, or I can almost see person B like putting themselves on the line on to person A, and person A pushing it away because either they weren't ready for it, you know, they might have been overcoming other issues, overcoming other fears, just not being ready for that, overthinking. And there was an opportunity for something to start here, and it wasn't taken. And with the Page of Air here, Page of Swords, I feel like the communication between both people never got to that really intellectual, in-depth place. It's like, I feel like, especially for person B, I feel like person B was really desiring more from person A. Person A was more fearful of talking about those things, because I feel like person A really relies on their outer image because they do have this imposter syndrome thing going on. And so they don't want to reveal. They know that person B is very intuitive. They know that person B will be able to see through them. And if they're honest with I feel like person A knows that person B can see the truth even if person A doesn't say it. Person A definitely has a harder time because they're less emotionally in tune. But person A looks at person B and does not understand why person B would even be into them in the first place. And person A kind of has this energy of thinking, they're so... Person A is incredibly attracted to person B. Person A is blown away by person B, if you will. But I feel like there was definitely a lack of depth and substance when it came to talking to one another because both parties were nervous. Neither one wanted to initiate those more in-depth conversations. And it's interesting because we do have Gemini, and with the Lovers here, this is a major card, and this is mirroring energy. And it's like, though you both are so different, the core of what the issues are, mainly self-esteem and the willingness to be open and honest and put yourself on the line and not be afraid of what's to come. Neither party was able to see how similar their situations were and how mutual the feelings were. And I think it's interesting because I want to look at this. So it's like we have this mirroring energy here and then these moons. And so it's like neither one wanted to open up about the depths of their feelings. And they were just kind of turning their back on their feelings because it really didn't make sense. And, you know, maybe both parties were young. We do have 2 pages here. You know, one could have been studying, one could have been, you know, being an entrepreneur, could have been, you know, building a business, entrepreneur, or just, you know, starting a new career or something. But the biggest thing about Gemini and the Lovers is that there's a choice that has to be made by you, the viewer, about what you're going to do about this situation. Here's the thing. It's not like that has to happen by the end of this video. You can make that choice whenever you want. Give yourself time. But essentially, you know, it's this idea of you can't put your life on hold forever. But I also just feel like with Gemini, you know, neither party could see how similar this connection was. And the ironic thing is that I think both people see what a bright future they could have together. But I think one person chose to run away here. And whether it was person A or person B, I think that the other one was like let's say, okay, so if person B chose to run, person A was like, see, I knew they weren't into me. I knew that it wouldn't happen. This was all a facade. They never felt anything for me. But if it's person B and person A ran away, they're like, what's wrong with me? Like, why didn't, and which, first of all, if you're person B, there's nothing wrong with you. They're like, why don't they like me? Why don't they want this? And it's like, no. Both of you want each other really badly. The circumstances clearly weren't right. And neither party, both parties have issues, trauma, deeper rooted things. But essentially, they both mirrored wounds and triggers upon the other. And I think it was really tough. And there could have been a falling out here. There could have been some kind of argument that was kind of like the nail in the coffin, or the decision to just put a pin in it, or the inner turmoil. This could also speak to just the inner turmoil that both of them felt because there was this passion, this connection, this attraction. And maybe like this, especially if this was physical, it's like, I think it's likely that maybe the person A would have been more comfortable with the physical aspect because it's not emotional, but person B would have been left unsatisfied because they would want something more emotional. Which that could have been what led to the argument. But I feel like what Spirit is saying about all of this is that it was all meant to happen like this. Because whether you end up with this person or not, Pluto is the planet of transformation. And this connection was meant to trigger both parties, because both were hella triggered by this connection, to see where they needed to heal. Now, it's up to them whether they truly heal or not. But this was meant to bring out their inner strength. And also realize how strong love is. Because here's the thing, I feel like for a lot of people, this connection will come back around. It's not over. Unless one person decides that they don't want anything to do with this, and they have full right to, you know? This is just the potential. And the main lesson that both of these parties are needing to learn is that love is the strongest and most powerful energy in the world. It can conquer anything. But I think both parties are needing to learn how to love themselves. And I think that's been a process that they've both been in, that they've been trying to improve. I feel like especially if this is a separation situation, they have really been going within and trying to do the work. I mean, they both triggered major realizations within one another. And with this, like, cemetery and, you know, this skull with the devil horns and the angel wings, it's like they both became aware of a lot of shadow aspects, a lot of triggers within them, and a lot of things that they thought that they had buried and were dead and gone were actually issues still plaguing them. And I feel like for you, the viewer, Spirit is saying, you know, this is kind of the main idea of the point of meeting this person, the point of meeting this connection, why all this happened. But the main idea, because this is to you, you know, you're getting the insight, but that doesn't mean the other person recognizes all of this. But they're getting there. They're getting there. But I think if there's going to be any communication in the near future, it's definitely going to have to be very surface level and shallow, which might be frustrating. Because person A for sure is not in their feelings. They're afraid of their feelings. They run from their feelings. Passion's one thing, but deep feelings are another. And, you know, with Leo energy, you know, I could see either side being a Leo. Both could be Leos or both have Leo placements. Both parties could have been really afraid to swallow that pride and open up and be like, look, like, I want something real, I want something deep. And I think that there was a lack of open and honest communication here. There was boundaries, and it's possible there was conflict surrounding the connection as well, which made it even harder. And maybe one side didn't know about this, or maybe one side, or maybe like it was on both sides. Like maybe both sides had friends being like, you don't need this. Like, this is, you know, whatever, you know how friends are. Hopefully you have friends. You're my friends. I say hi, you're my friend, so you do have a friend. No matter what, you have one friend, you have me. So, yeah. Interesting energy. I understand. This is not easy, but let's go ahead and get channel messages and see what this person would say to you, whether it's person A or person B. What they want you to know, which is interesting because this is essentially mirroring energy here. So what would pile 4's person say to pile 4 if they could? I left when I saw you with someone. I am afraid to contact you. I regret lying to you. I knew exactly what I was doing. I want to feel that way again. And on the back of the deck, I am not available. So yeah, both parties, they might just be working on themselves. They might be, I feel like there's a definite emotional unavailability on both sides. And whereas there's more of a willingness from person B to be emotionally available, they don't want to be, especially not with this person, with person A, because person A doesn't want to be, doesn't even know how to be emotionally available right now. So, okay. And I almost wonder this, I left when I saw you with someone. misconceptions, like insecurities, and being like, oh, well, there was someone else or they're doing something else. But let's see. Spirit, what else would pile 4's person say to pile 4? Okay, I'm going to take those two, and then a third one just popped out. Obviously, this is way too much, this pile. But we have, I'm afraid of being codependent. Yeah, I feel like both parties here have had codependent relationships. How can I ever repay you? I am so proud of you. Yeah, I feel like there's admiration for the other on both sides. Like, I feel like it maybe for even some of you, like, it's been a long time since you've talked to this person and you've just been, like, you know, seeing updates on social media or whatever, and it's just, like, just both really happy for one another, but it's not like you communicate. I need more time. I want to treat you like royalty. That's Leo energy right there, if I've ever seen it. And, oh, yep. I love when my channeled messages just prove exactly what I was saying. I can never seem to find the right words to convey my feelings. And I want to be more than friends. And I see you in my dreams. And you make me forget about the negatives in my life. So, yeah, this is a beautiful... Oh, and I think this is relevant as well. No matter how I act, I still care about you. So trust that, you know, this is not an easy thing. And I want to be clear, you know, for you who is watching, you never have to wait for anybody. You never have to, you know, you have full free will to accept or deny anyone in your life. And you don't have to... You have the power to allow or not allow anyone to be in your life. Okay, let's get some advice. Let's see, Spirit. What do you want pile 4 to know about this connection? What advice do you have for them? The end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn. Believe in the impossible, blue moon. And on the back of the deck, we have hold your vision and communication is key, new moon in Gemini, extra Gemini energy. So yeah, so Spirit is saying, you know, if you don't want this to be over, it's not, it's very likely that it's not over. But you have to be positive and you have to have this idea of like, oh yeah, like I truly do believe that this could be something more. But I do feel like things are getting easier for both parties, whether that's in love or just in general. I'm not one to usually talk about timing, but if you're watching this close to when I upload it, like, you know, maybe during the end of Capricorn season, there could be some change here. But let's see what else Spirit wants you to know about this connection. What advice do they have for pile 4 and what do they want them to know? Okay, wow, this is beautiful. So we have forgiveness. Stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. We also have manifesting miracles. Your dream is soon to become a reality. Trust your heart and continue to follow its guidance. And then we have romance. Cupid's arrow strikes. So there could be something changing here. Oh my God. This is the back of the deck energy. I already know what this is. And it's twin flames. And which we do have Gemini energy. And that Gemini is 20. So if you believe in that sort of thing. But it's a general reading. So use discernment. But, you know. This is a very deep, intense soul connection. This is something, I know, I feel like neither one of you have let go of this, whether you act like it or not. But I feel like because you both have been trying to come into balance within yourselves, and there's been a lot of time that's passed, I feel like for a lot of you, there could be something happening here. But Spirit's asking you to stay positive and hold that vision. Because if you are negative, oh my gosh, and look what's on the top of the deck. Oh my God. Okay. New beginning. A new adventure awaits. Embrace it and live your dreams passionately. So, no matter what, Something's coming. Maybe this page of Aries talking about communication you might get soon. So this is really beautiful, pile 4. So we're going to get some letters and some songs. So pile 4, please, Spirit. Okay. And then pile 4 songs. Okay. So looks like we got just about all the numbers in existence. So we have 3, we have 9, 999, 666, 69 could be significant. We have T. It's making me think of like the Twice song. I'm like TT. Might like your, if you're a woman, they might like your titties. We have 3 T's actually. Total titty action. Oh, total titty time. I don't know. That A was not a... Okay, so we have an M or a W. We have an N. With this, I'm thinking of like no more, and I heard like no more like lies or no more. We also have an S. I feel like Mississippi. Mississippi. I feel like this person thinks that you are a cutie. And with CT, I think of Connecticut. We also have 8 and 8 and 3. Oh, we have 3 8s, so 888. More Leo energy coming out as well. 8 also talks about cycles. We have 3, so 333 could be significant as well. We also have X, New Mexico, also. We have 2 5s. Okay. Oh, so yeah, we do have 3 3s. Yeah, we have 333. So wow, a lot of synchronicities. So let's look at your songs. The artist or the lyrics, title, whatever it may be, just take it as it resonates. So we have Love to Hate Me by Blackpink. I feel like that came out in another reading. We have Treasure by Bruno Mars. We also have Blackbird by the Beatles. And No Worries by Lil Wayne. So pile 4, I am going to leave your reading here. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way through. If you did, definitely leave me a comment down below and let me know how it resonates. And I would love it if you would leave me a like and subscribe if you're interested in seeing more readings like this in the future. It helps me like you wouldn't believe. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to read your cards. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever it is you're watching, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye!